Sinophobia on the rise in South Korea, as you can see. Interestingly enough, as you can see here in the corner, there's an American flag, which is really far from the... And here we have another one, and 1 tree in one shot, right? Just imagine how many we don't see. This reminds me to the so-called freedom or democracy protest in... Hong Kong. At that time, they also had all these kind of other flags. They even had American flags, they had British flag, and they even had the colonial flag. That's literally insane. Not understanding that during the British occupation, when it was a colony, there was no democracy, there was no freedom of speech. They only enjoy it under the Communist Party of China. That's ironically enough, right? But anyway... So what they're saying is China need to stop interfering in their politics, and that is where it gets very interesting, because to my knowledge, it is the United States interfering in their politics and not China, and otherwise they should give a clear example, which they cannot. I can give a clear example. For example, 70 to 75 military bases from the United States are on South Korean ground. I can tell you also that the army of South Korea is not allowed to do anything without orders from the United States. And that's it. They also accuse China of harvesting organs from South Koreans. However, they can never find somebody who is missing or whatever is in that spectrum or in that story. And also the president also said it isn't true. It's just BS. But we all know who is spewing those nonsense. That is the United States. Through their so-called news channels spewing all that propaganda to these South Koreans into thinking that China is harvesting their organs. Dear South Koreans, you're really nice people. But when I look at this, you're not really the smartest. So I don't think that China wants to have your organs. If they wanted to have others' organs, they would find some smarter people. Anyway, I hope this will help you to ease your mind a little bit. I will also saying things like they are defecating in public, etc., which I find very hard to believe that Chinese people will defecate in the middle of the public. That's just ridiculous. I've never ever seen anything like that. They don't do it in China, let alone in another nation. It's just ridiculous. All these kind of things come from the anti-China segment, which is all over the Western news. And apparently the news in South Korea is also under the spell of United States, what they call news outlets. But the people with a mind understand that those are just propaganda outlets and have nothing or little to do with real news. But yet, as you can see, the propaganda of the United States is really strong. And it even makes people think that they're essentially colonized by the United States, because if you have 70 to 75 US military bases, you're not a sovereign nation anymore. But then you think that another nation that is not doing that to you is interfering. Like, what? And then you have a couple of companies that control the entire South Korea. It's just insane the level that these people have been brainwashed. And I hate to say it because, yeah, obviously I like their skincare, but it's so bad. I hope people will start to, think for themselves. Anyway, let me know what you all think of this in the comment section. I will link the link to the video in the comment section. I didn't want to have all the sound with it, etc. But if you're interested, you can go and watch it over there. I also have, since very recently, a Buy Me a Coffee link for the people that want to support my work. But you're only allowed to support my work if you really financially, really well off. Otherwise, I really would not like to have your money. A like and a share, that is something that I would like. And also, if you go and follow me, then also please click the notification button so you will not miss a video. And thank you for everything in advance. And this was your favorite half Chinese. And as always, have a great day.